So it's not.
All righty, perfect. I think we're live.
I'm pretty.
We're not the most
sure.
technologically advanced, but we can make some cocktails and we can do this live. So we're just gonna let everybody kind of join in and get on the stream. So no rush on that. I'm seeing we've already got people joining. That's fantastic.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Yeah. Mom, I know you're here right now, so happy Mother's Day.
Mom,
to you
happy
too.
Mother's Day.
We did call you in advance too. This isn't the only way we were wishing.
Did you call? I did not call.
I called.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mom, I'm going to call you after.
Awesome. We're seeing some more join in. And for those of you who can't join us, you'll find out. But this is going to be recorded, so it'll be posted back online, ideally before 2 o'clock, so that anybody who maybe didn't have the opportunity or it didn't fit into their schedule can watch it and learn how to make some of those.
And maybe
cocktails.
you did make it in. Maybe you are here right now and you're like, this cocktail is amazing. I want to make it again and again. You can absolutely keep watching this.
Exactly.
We'll have this posted by about 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're seeing people coming on in. That's fantastic. Just a heads up as to what you're going to want to have ready for you to do this, because you need some tools. You can make a simplified version of this cocktail. If you don't have some of these tools, don't worry. But ideally, you have some of these.
Yeah, so like in the kits that you guys would have received, you're going to have, of course, gin, a bottle of our signature gin, which is going to go really well in this cocktail. We're going to have a bottle of the Rosé of the Chateau de Montgarret of the Cremant. We're going to have some strawberry lemon juice, some strawberries, some dehydrated lemons, and that's pretty much what we should be looking at. Additional stuff you guys may want to bring to the table or probably do want to bring to the table. Glassware is a really good one.
Quite important.
Shakers.
Yep.
We've got a strainer here. We actually have a couple of different strainers. We have a Hawthorne strainer, and this is going to be a fine mesh strainer. We're probably just going to use the Hawthorne today.
Yeah. If you want to get fancy, you can. But you know.
I like keeping in the little bits of the strawberry pulp as well. So we won't do too fine of a strain on that one. A jigger is good for measurements. A shot glass if you've got it as well.
Or an espresso glass if you don't have that. It's really a simple recipe. So we try to make sure that you don't need to have all these tools if you don't have them. But if you do have them, then great. You can use them finally, you know?
And then lastly, make sure you've got a knife to cut up some of our strawberry garnish and some ice, because there's nothing worse than warm cocktails.
Yeah, this cocktail, it's just not going to land well if it's a warm cocktail, that's for sure. All right, perfect. So I'm seeing some more people. I think we're kind of reaching, I would imagine, you know.
We'll jump on in. Anyone who's late, they can figure this out. I'm sure it wouldn't be too
not that complex. As well, in terms of glassware, I don't know if you touched on it. There's a couple different ways you can serve this cocktail. We'll touch on the cocktail as well, but effectively, champagne flutes are going to be kind of your more traditional style. You can also do a coupe, which is your really traditional champagne style. It's really up to you. I think we're going to stick with the champagne flutes.
Yeah, maybe we make one in one and one in the other and just show it a couple of different.
I like that.
There we go.
I like that. There we go. Nice.
Good ideas here at Reed's Distillery.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So the French 75 cocktail.
Actually, you know what? Before we dive into the cocktail, if for those of you who have not met us before, we are Reed's Distillery. We are Calvin and Graham Reed, a couple of brothers, and we have a gin distillery here in Leslieville in Toronto. So if you haven't been into the space yet, hopefully sometime soon we are going to be able to open back up and welcome you in here.
I know we're eager to do that.
Yes, and certainly get the patio going as well.
Exactly.
So just wanted to do a little bit of an intro before we dive on in. The cocktail, take it away.
Yeah, no, exactly. And once again, thank you guys for joining us. It means a lot to us. We're a small company, and being able to share these cocktails with people virtually, it's pretty fun. I think for us, we've really enjoyed this. This is one of our favorite cocktails to do because it's a bit of a celebratory cocktail. The French 75, it brings a balance of kind of a bold flavor, right? It's got your lemon, it's got some intensity to it, but at the same time, it also brings with it an element of kind of sweeter, a little bit more approachable. You could maybe drink it at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. It's an approachable cocktail. It's actually named after a French canon. The French 75 was the canon name because of its intensity. So there's a sneakiness to this cocktail.
The French 75, or the 75, was referencing the caliber of the cannonballs essentially. But the cannon was a very short and stubby one, so it didn't look particularly threatening, but it would do some damage. And so any cocktail that just kind of happens to taste like a glass of bubbly that's also packing a little bit of a punch with some gin in there, can do some damage and sneak up on you as well. So that is sort of how the origins of the French 75, and we have a bit of a twist on it today, making it very spring-like, very seasonal, a little bit fresh and a little bit fun.
Exactly. And the twist that we wanted to take was to really bring that spring tone, bring in the strawberries. We're actually doing a bit of a blend here. We do have your typical Clement or bubbly, but it is a rosé style. So this on its own is quite nice. And so if maybe you've made a couple French 75s and you're looking for something a little lighter, I would say, you know what, this is going to be a great option for that too. When it comes to your typical French 75, it is going to be made with lemon juice. We actually took freshly squeezed lemon juice and we actually infused in strawberries. So you're going to notice it's got the pulp in there. You want it in there. It's going to be packed with flavor. So this is actually a strawberry lemon infusion here. So it brings a little bit more sweetness to it. It's a little bit more kind of, it's not overpoweringly strawberry. We didn't want it to be kind of like a punch in the face of strawberry, but it's going to be kind of more subtle strawberry tone in there. And then of course we've got our strawberry here for garnish, but we can also use it to put it in your shaker too. If you want to really amp up the amount of strawberry in there, you've got that here. So I'll do that with mine. Calvin, you're going to keep it kind of traditional?
Yeah, I'll do sort of as is written on your guys' recipe cards, and Graham can kind of change it up a bit. And maybe Graham actually doesn't filter his at all, or a very light filter, maybe just kind of holding it back so that he can really let a lot of that strawberry come through.
Exactly. So it's completely up to you. But like I was also saying, we've got some of the tools here, cocktail shakers, you know, our measures, our strainers. If you don't have those, here are some helpful things that you can use. A jar, a mason jar is a great cocktail shaker with a lid, of course. A thermos that has this little closing lid that you can shake. That's once again, hold the lid on. But these are some things that you can use if you don't have your typical cocktail utensils with you. Or like I was saying, instead of a measure, you could use, well, effectively an espresso glass, a shot glass. There's a range. Just make sure it's equal portions. Okay. So let's dive into this. Let's do it. You know, the thing when you're making a cocktail is you always want to make sure you have everything first. There's nothing worse. You're halfway through a cocktail and then it's like, I don't have this one item.
Yeah, if you have to put the shaker down and let it set while you go and, I completely forgot to get my glassware ready. All it's doing is just diluting in that glass, and you want to have it, of course, with as little dilution, but as cold as possible. So we're going to strive for that today.
Exactly. And if you guys have any questions, you can message it into the chat. I do believe you will have to be logged into a YouTube account of sorts, but you can message in the chat there and we'll be able to read that and answer any of your questions that you have. Okay, perfect. So as Calvin was saying, dilution is it's essential in a cocktail, and it's something you want to watch out when you're making your cocktail. You don't want to over dilute your cocktail. So typically, I know I'll usually make my cocktail without ice in the shaker first, and then that way, once I'm ready to go, I put the ice in. Maybe I've rambled on talking during a virtual session, who knows? But at least that way, the drink is not fully diluted with melted ice. So that's kind of my approach, but you know, we all have our own approach to this.
100%. I know when we were open here as a bar, if a bartender was making 3, 4, 5, 6 drinks, they would almost prep everything, all the ingredients, and have all of the shakers in a row with everything except for the ice. And then as soon as they're ready to shake, that's the last thing that goes in is going to be that ice. So really hold that off until the end.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. So diving in, we're going to use some basic rules of thumb for cocktail making, and that is effectively starting with your lowest cost ingredient first. Main reason is, at the end of the day, there's nothing worse than you're making a cocktail and you mess up. And you've already poured in your nice bottle of Reeds, and you've already kind of poured in maybe another premium liqueur. You want to try and make sure that at the end of the day, what you are using here is going to be starting off with your lowest cost ingredient first. Okay, so what that looks like for me is going to be that strawberry lemon juice. And with that, we actually have a bit of an equal portion recipe. We like to kind of keep it simple. And when it comes to that, you always want to think that, equal portions is really going to be kind of your 50% gin or your 25%, whatever you can use on something like this is ideal. So I know Calvin's got a recipe card here. He just wanted to show. Ooh. So there's your little recipe card. Now with this, we've got 50 mils of gin. That's your top side there. And 25 mils is the small side here. So we've got that there. I'm going to be pouring in here, starting with the strawberry lemon juice. I'm going to be pouring in 25 mils, which is the small side right here, into my shaker, which is this guy right here. So 25 mils, just pour it in. And I am okay with the pulp. Actually, what I should do though is shake it up right before I stir that in. So just give it a little bit of a shake, because you don't want all the pulp right away. You want a little bit of it. Okay, perfect. So 25 mils poured in. There we go. Nice. Woo, I made a big mess. I just made a big mess. That's okay. There you go, Calvin. I'll let you get your 25 mils.
Thank you very much.
And if you want to make it larger, you can do that too. You're just going to double the recipe, right? So it's like if you're baking and you want to make twice the amount of cookies, but it's a gin cocktail. So you can certainly do that. So I've got my 25 mils in here of the strawberry lemon juice. Now what we're going to do for myself, I'm going to actually mince up some strawberries and throw that in there too. Calvin's going to keep it as to the recipe card. But if you want a little bit more strawberry flavor, this is your opportunity to cut up one. I try and keep the most beautiful strawberries for garnish, and then I'll use the other ones here. I'm going to be using these ones for kind of minced up. You don't need to be too particular as to which strawberries you're using for mincing, but I do like to kind of really break it up already so that when I'm shaking it, I don't need to worry that it's not going to break up into small enough. Okay, exactly. Perfect.
And while Graham does that, the next thing that we are going to do is going to be adding our gin. I know we said adding your most expensive ingredients last, but this cocktail is really intended where you actually top up with the bubbly. So we are going to save that rosé bubbly until the end, and we're actually going to open up our gin first. For those of you out there who have never opened a bottle of our gin, don't worry. Sometimes people panic a little bit and they hack at it with knives. Not necessary at all. Just hold that neck down and give one good twist, and that wax seal should crack nice and clean.
There you go.
Should be all good.
Some notes on why we're not putting the bubbly in the shaker. Okay, just thinking logically through this. Do not put carbonated beverages into shakers. It isn't going to hold seals, and it's going to open up everywhere.
Think of what happens when you shake up a can of pop and then open it. That's what we would be intentionally doing by putting bubbly into our shakers.
Exactly. So whether it's your French 70, so whether it's your Clement or your bubbly, or whether it's maybe another cocktail, maybe you're doing a whiskey, or sorry, a gin sour or like a gin fizz, you don't want to be pouring in that bubbly into the shaker. It's not going to end well. I've seen a couple more people join in, so I'm just going to briefly kind of summarize what we're doing here. We're making a French 75 for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mother. We've got the Clement here, which is going to be our bubbly, already in our shaker. We've got our lemon strawberry juice, and as well I've minced up some strawberries because I want a little bit more strawberry punch. Calvin's kept it pretty classic, so he's got 25 mils of strawberry juice in there, and I've got 25 mils of strawberry juice in here plus my strawberries minced. Next up is that gin, so we're going to be putting in 50 mils.
50 mils. So 50 mils is going to be about 1.8 ounces. Yep. So going to throw in, this is going to be the larger side of your jiggers if you have them. Most jiggers are 25 mil on the bottom, 50 mil on top.
And like I was saying before, if you've got one that's a 30 and a 60, which is also a common size, it would look something like this guy right here. Not a problem at all. You just want to make sure it's equal portions. That's the best way to go about it.
Even if you have something that you don't even know the measurements on, if it's an espresso glass or a shot glass, it's just going to be one of them for the lemon strawberry juice, and two of them going to be for the gin.
Exactly. Now, the strawberry lemon juice that we've put in here actually already has simple syrup in it, and that's something that if you are making this without a premixed lemon juice, you would want to do. So if you were squeezing those lemons by yourself, which we've done plenty of, and a lot of people do at their home bars, it can be a little bit laborious when you're making many a drink. You're going to want to make sure that you effectively also add in a simple syrup to balance the sweetness, because a balanced cocktail is going to be making sure that it has a representation in three main flavor categories. And Calvin always says the three S's of a cocktail: your sweet, your sour, and your spirit. So sweet, we've got the simple syrup in there. We've got some strawberry in there. Our sour, of course, is coming from that lemon. And then our spirit, well, gin.
It's gin.
It's gin. Surprise. All right, perfect. So we've got in here now our gin. We've got our strawberry, our lemon. We're pretty much good to go. We're good to go. We do need some ice, because without ice, well, a warm cocktail, it's not quite the same thing. We were researching a while ago kind of when the first cocktails came to be. And it's interesting in that they didn't used to have ice. And as soon as they created ice, like commercialized ice, it is when the cocktail boom started. Yeah. Once you could commercialize ice and you could make cocktails that weren't just like, here's gin with a little bit of, bitters in it, it really started to evolve and change.
Essentially late 1800s, early 1900s.
Exactly. All right, we take things we take for granted. Ice. Alrighty, perfect. I think
with that?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. So how much ice? It really doesn't matter because we are going to be holding that ice back and straining it into a glass. So it doesn't need to, if I was doing what is called a dirty ice pour, where I take that whole shaker and I just pour it right into the glass at the end, I would want to make sure my ice is matching that glass. But this one, we're actually holding that back. So,
and because of that, I would even err on the side of more ice. It's just going to help cool it as efficiently as possible, and you don't need to shake just quite as long.
Yeah.
But we've got all of our ingredients here. We're going to cap it on up.
Yep.
Essentially, when you seal up your shaker, it should kind of like line up along one side and kind of be broken on the other there. You want to make sure that that's a nice tight seal. Again, you don't want to make a sticky mess, and you certainly don't want to waste a cocktail. So make sure that's nice and sealed up.
And a strawberry sticky mess is not going to end well. So if you have a 3-piece shaker, which is like a tin like this, you could also have a 2-piece shaker, which has the glass on the top. So those are all the same. If it's 3-piece, it's going to have 3 pieces. Make sure they're all connected and properly shut.
So close your ears for a second. I don't know if this is going to get too loud.
We're going to
shake this for about 15 to 20 seconds.
There we go. So what I'm looking for is it's unbearably cold, and I like that.
Yeah, wait until you really can't even hold it anymore.
The way I test to see how cold it is I see how Calvin reacts. You see, that's nice and cold, right?
Sure. All right. Oh, Mom, did you see what you raised?
We're having fun.
When things are going to cool, they're going to like tighten and contract, especially if you have a metal and not necessarily a metal glass. So it might be a little bit tight trying to break that seal again. Just take the palm of your hand, find that straight side of the shaker, and give it a little hit, and that should pop it right off.
I'll do a little bit of a wiggle back and forth like that. But you want to make sure when you open it up that you're slow at opening it up. You don't want to have this go everywhere because, well, it's going to go everywhere. So the next stage.
I'm going to do in the tall guy. You want to do the...
Yeah, I'm going to do in the coupe. I'll put this to the side. There we go. So you can see it's already got a beautiful color to it without the rosé, and it's going to have a little bit of that flavor tone. It's leaving a certain amount there to be topped up with bubbly. So it's kind of a beautiful balance. I am going to need that cocktail strainer there. Now, I want to bring in some of the strawberries that I minced up. So what I'm going to be doing is typically when you're using what is called a Hawthorne strainer, you press it as tightly against there as possible to prevent ice and debris from coming through. I want to bring through not the ice, but I want to bring through some of the strawberries. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to try lifting this a little bit above just to make sure that I get some, but not all. There we go. And you'll see I'm getting a little bit more of that strawberry in there.
That's good.
Little techniques. And there we go. So I still have equal amounts of room to top up with bubbly. And that's really what you want to make sure is that you don't make a cocktail that's right to the brim, because it's essential. While it would be delicious, it would almost be like a lemon gimlet. It wouldn't be a French 75 cocktail.
Now, if you make a cocktail and you find it's to the brim, that's okay. Split it into 2 glasses, or just find one bigger glass for yourself.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Split it into 2 for yourself. There we go. It's Mother's Day.
Portion control. Yeah.
You know, I must say, I think about our mom and the patience that she has had. You have to imagine, it's brothers. We're making gin. We were making beer when we were a little bit younger than this.
Quite a bit younger than this.
You know, it's one of those things that you really look back and you go, quite a lot of patience. And Mom, we love you. Thank you so much.
And we don't actually get to see our mom on Mother's Day. We are currently being distanced from her. She is on this call. So again, hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Hey.
But hopefully you guys are either with your moms celebrating, or you and your moms are on this call and you guys are watching this all together. And maybe you guys are going to have another call after this to carry on the thing. But if you guys have your bottles of bubbly, I think now is an excellent time for us to actually pop the bottles of rosé and celebrate moms and mother figures everywhere, guys, because that's really what this day is all about. Yes, it's fun to make some cocktails, but it really is important to celebrate our moms.
Yeah, and for those of you opening this up, it is your discretion how aggressive you want to do this. We're going to open it nice and classy because we try to practice that. We're still going to pop it. We're going to shoot this cork. That's fun, right? You know, but that's up to you. Okay, you're in your own place of comfort. You can do that.
Be careful with the corks, by the way. It kills more people every year than shark attacks. So watch out.
Is this proven?
Yes, yeah.
I don't believe that, but you know what? Maybe. All right. So we've got the Clement here. This Chateau Montecote also makes just a regular Clement. This one being their Rosé. It's got a subtle balance to it. I actually really love it on its own, as I was saying.
The thing that I'm always kind of hesitant about with pink bubbles is that it's a little bit sweeter than I would like. But I find that this one is actually nice and dry, very well balanced for a pink rosé. And we've got it right here.
Yeah. Woo! Nice. Oh, happy Mother's Day.
Yay! So I'll top. Would you like me to top up yours? Or are you gonna do yours?
I want to do it myself.
Okay, so I'll top up myself here.
There we go. Now, when you're pouring this in, keep in mind that it's going to foam up after because it will agitate with the strawberry and with any of that citrus that you have in there. So do keep that in mind. And if you're ever building a champagne tower, which we research once in a while. We're of course always looking into these things. Coupe glasses like this are your perfect one to be stacked on top of each other. Maybe for next Mother's Day, we'll do a champagne towered French 75. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and if you're ever researching champagne tower failures, it's a really good. You could go down a YouTube wormhole just watching people mess up gigantic champagne things. So that's actually fun too.
Exactly. So now that I'm done with this, I'm going to put this on ice. I'm going to set it aside. There we go. Perfect. And next step, we're almost there. Don't worry, is garnish. We've got, for this one, we wanted to bring the balance of what were the ingredients in there. We got lemon and we've got strawberry. So we brought both. We got dehydrated lemon. They do a fantastic job of kind of bringing that balance, that bitter sour tone to the table. And we also got strawberries too. So we've got some of that strawberry we're going to cut up. We're going to throw in there too. Alrighty, perfect.
How are you going to garnish yours, Graham?
I'm going to do a slice and a slice, and I'm going to put them together. I'm going to do a sandwich slice. That's what I'm going to do. I'll show you what I'm thinking. Do it up. But you know what? Garnish is one of those things I think every bartender loves, that they can get creative with it. It doesn't need to be prescribed. It's kind of one that, I've got this going here, just a little half cut, and then I'm going to be taking this one because I want this one. There we go.
We have all the dehydrated lemon for you to choose from.
There we go. So now I've got my two slices, and I'm going to put them together just like this. But I got to cut a little slit there. There we go. Nice. Oh, I'm making a big old mess. All right. So I've got that on there, but it's not quite done because it's not visually as pleasing as I want it. I want this. I want a little bit of that right in front. And it's hard to see, but I'm just going to show off.
Show it, Greg.
I'm just going to show off.
Show it.
That is what I'm looking for right there.
It's almost like it's got a little halo, like at the
right. Yeah, it's like the strawberries, surrounded by the light of the lemon. Wow. We don't write our own descriptions. All right. So now Calvin's got a half strawberry cut on the edge. Absolutely beautiful. It pops the color. I actually kind of like that.
Yeah, I like the half.
I'm gonna.
Plus, I like having a little bit of a snack while I'm having.
I'm copying.
There you go.
You see?
Yeah.
Nothing is all that original in the cocktail world. Everything is a riff on a riff, and what in the cocktail world a riff is what we're making here. And where you take a traditional cocktail, you change up some elements. And that's what we've done here. We've got the traditional French 75, but we've now made it with a rosé, so that's riff number one, and we've also made it with strawberry lemon instead of just your traditional lemon. And here we are with two beautiful French 75s, rosé French 75s, and we can cheers here. We can cheers, Mom.
Mom,
happy Mother's Day, Mom.
All mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. All those celebrating, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah. Oh yes. Right. Yep.
I know.
That's a brunch cocktail.
It's a brunch cocktail. That's pretty intense. Like it's got a lot to it, which is nice. There's obviously your traditional brunch cocktail of kind of a mimosa, but this is one of our favorites. I think for Mother's Day, it's kind of stood out in the last many years where it's kind of, as soon as Mother's Day comes around, it's like, French 75?
And the Mother's Day for us as well kind of opens gin season for us. It's kind of like the beginning of that spring, summertime.
Yep.
And so anytime that, yes, pop the bottle for celebration, strawberries and everything nice and fresh. And we're kind of kicking off the, hopefully a very fun filled summer filled with lots of gin and lots of good times. So Mother's Day and the French 75 are sort of synonymous with us.
Exactly. And strawberries, when it comes to cocktails, are a fun one. I actually did a riff on a Negroni yesterday with strawberries, and I didn't stir the cocktail. And Negroni's usually a bit more bitter, but I put strawberries in there and I shaked it.
Shaken Negroni.
I did a shaken Negroni with strawberries. It might be my new summer Negroni. It's really nice.
Campari and vermouth.
Vermouth and gin, right? But you take those strawberries, you mince them up, you put them in the shaker, once I start going down that rabbit hole of what else can I do with strawberries, it's a fun one to explore. That was a fantastic cocktail. So I'd recommend anybody who's like, what can I do next? That's a fun one to play around.
Where was I when you were creating all of these?
Well, you know, me and my fiance needed to enjoy a Negroni, and I said, we got some strawberries. Let's explore this. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. No, it was certainly a fun one. This is a great one in that it's refreshing. You can drink a couple of these and not even realize it. They're, as the name says, that kind of sneaky little
unsuspecting, yes, yeah.
Exactly.
But hopefully you guys all have your Mother's Day Rosé French 75s in front of you right now. You are enjoying them and choosing together.
Yeah.
Graham and I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all this incredible support for pretty much the last year and a bit.
It's been you know our anniversary, our 2nd year anniversary is coming up.
It'll be Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, day after tomorrow.
We haven't yet been able to celebrate an anniversary.
No.
Our last year's anniversary was spent, me and you and Martin. We were just at the bar eating pizza because we couldn't open.
That was our celebration.
That was our 1 year anniversary. Our 2nd year anniversary, I think, will be very much the same.
Yep.
So really what it is Mother's Day has become a bit of our anniversary.
Our celebrations. Yeah. So yes, the popping bottles is to mothers, but we've actually now been open for just shy of 2 years. And so we've now actually been open longer during a pandemic than we have not in a pandemic. So it's kind of surreal that we're kind of doing our Mother's Day broadcast virtually and from the distillery, but at least we get to celebrate it all. So
Nice.
Thank you guys so much for joining in. Hope you guys have a lot of spoiling and surprises ready for Mom for the rest of your day. And if you don't, I am so sorry for building up that expectation. And now Mom's just going to be sitting there being like, but
Just keep making French 75.
Yeah,
That's right,
exactly.
right?
At the very least, you guys have some cocktails to enjoy your day with. Thank you so much for tuning in, and cheers from all of us here at Reed's.
Cheers. Happy Mother's Day.
Cheers. Cheers again, man.
Cheers, Mom.
Cheers, Mom.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Woo. That's good.